the three of you today?
2.
I can't count. 2. That's what my head was
There's
thinking.
3 total. We'll add Lauren in here any day of the week.
No, I'm just,
The fact is, we need to get a name tag for him.
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Yeah. Lauren
I
Anderson,
don't need a name tag.
head BSer.
Yes.
Trying to put me out of business? Put that over, like, remember his last name, right? Now Will's is up to help department.
Did I tell you? Changed my mind on going. Canceled the stuff on the SSD one. They canceled our budget, our work session for budget, the SSD one, and the UTSSD, they canceled it. So we're
Because you're putting so much work preparing for it.
So I'm gonna go ahead and go, because now there's not anything too exciting.
Did they just continue it for another month?
They haven't yet, but I just talked to the chairman, and I told him, explain, this has been going on since August. We need to finish this.
Right,
And
right.
we sent over
No.
the HDMI needs to go in
Hey,
there.
how's it going?
It doesn't.
It doesn't go in there?
No,
How are you doing?
that's a display port.
Break it.
He did. He's messing with stuff again.
It's our microphone.
Hmm. No, that's an HDMI.
Yeah.
No, that's an HDMI, and that's an HDMI.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it is.
Hey, of course.
It says digital display to port, but I think it goes the other way. I do think it goes upside down the other way. Yeah, I wouldn't force it.
Try to force it the other way and tell me to kiss your nose.
Because it looks just like an HDMI from here when I get down. But you have to have the HDMI for it to work.
And that's a Ryan thing.
Let me see. Mine doesn't control like yours. Just come on.
Usually it just comes on. This time it's off.
Ty just had to push a button.
Is it off again now?
Yes.
That's nice to know.
It's upside down too. Thank you.
Yeah.
It is upside down now.
I've been drinking, but not that much.
Wow.
That, I just have a little blue box or not then.
Thank you for nothing, ma'am.
You're welcome. Anytime. Are you ready? It is 3.
Does Elaine still proof your minutes? That's
All
awesome.
right, let's
She's
do it.
very helpful.
I'm back upright.
Okay.
All right, welcome. It is the 8th day of April, 2025. This is the weekly meeting of the Uintah County Commission. We're excusing Commissioner Lefevre. He's at a training out in the city. We will have, if you haven't, make sure you put all these babies on silent. Anything that's going to make noise, please either turn it off or put it on silent. If you haven't, before you leave, make sure you sign in back there. Now we'll go forth with Heidi Lundberg with the prayer and Nathan Belliston with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Dear Lord, we are grateful for this day, grateful for the sunshine that we've received, and we ask you please be with the leaders of our county and our country, that as they make decisions, they can do what's right for the citizens, and please be with those in law enforcement and our first responders. Be with them and keep them safe, and we are grateful for thee, and we say these things in the Lord's name, Jesus Christ, amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Very nice, appreciate it. First order of business is the approval of minutes for April 1 of 2025 meeting and April 2nd, 2025 work session.
I would make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
No discussion? Call for a vote?
Aye.
Aye. Mr. Wilkins? Approval of the warrants.
Commissioners, I have warrants from April 8th, or actually it was last Friday, so April 5th, 4th, $2,461,232.53. There was another check to Central Canal Company for $1,620,000, and the rest of them were just the normal bills we had for the
Can you say that amount, the total again?
$2,461,232.53.
53 cents?
53.
Okay, thank you.
And that check to the,
Central Canal was one to replace another check that we voided again.
right, number was wrong.
They're working through their issues that they have.
Yes. All right.
We voided a 1.8 million, replaced it for 1.7.
Keeps going down, that's fine.
Keep going down.
That's fine. All right. Any questions or comment?
No?
Call
I
for a motion?
make a motion that we approve the warrants as presented.
Vote?
Aye.
Okay. Any tax matters, sir? Okay. All right, no tax matters today. We'll have resolution, landfill. 2025 spring cleanup week. Mr. Jensen.
Hello, Commissioners. Greg Jensen with Uintah County Landfill. I have Resolution 4804082025R1, which is for waiving the fees for covered and secured residential loads going to the landfill for the week of April 26th through May 3rd, which is a full week, Saturday to Saturday. Again, I just want to say loads must be covered and secure. We don't want to have to keep picking up that road below us or anywhere else in the county. Any questions?
Yes. Go ahead, Mr. Wilkins.
Yeah. Yep. The residential loads, citizens, which is like household garbage, yard waste, all commercial loads will still be charged the regular rates. And all uncovered loads will be double the normal fee.
And in the near future, $10
In the
added.
near future, an additional $10 on top of that, starting May 7th.
Yep, per state law.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
HB 53. It's a good read.
Yeah, all 4,000 lines of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Do I have a,
I would make a motion that we approve Resolution 04-08-2025R1 as has been presented by Greg Jensen.
I'll call for a vote.
Aye.
Aye. All right, sir.
Thank
That does coincide with Duchesne County also, correct?
Yes, yeah, they're doing the same dates just to make it easier for both of us.
Everybody. Thank you. All right, Travis. 2025 Rise and Thrive Business Speed Pitch Report.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Travis Campbell with Economic Development. So yeah, I'm just here to report on this year's speech pitch competition. Just got a couple of slides I'll show you. So this year was the 5th annual event. The idea here is to help foster local economic growth by supporting these entrepreneurs, our contestants, in their pursuits to start a business. So the speed pitch, the idea here is that we give them 3 minutes to sum up their business idea to a panel of 5 judges who will then ultimately choose our winners. And then after their 3-minute pitch, they have 3 minutes of Q&A with the judges. So they do have this very short window to really sum up their idea, and this forces them to really hone in exactly what their business does and how they're going to do it. And I'll say to our panel of judges, we select them based on their backgrounds in business and entrepreneurship, and we make a really concerted effort to make sure that they are impartial. The contestants don't know who our judges are beforehand. The judges don't know anything about our contestants before they pitch their ideas. So we try and keep that very impartial. And then we as organizers trying to make sure that we don't give any real opinions or feedback during their deliberation process. So they're really being judged and chosen on the merits of their pitch. So the pitch competition is put on through my office, through Economic Development in partnership with the Vernal Innovation Hub, which for those who don't know, the hub is a co-working space here in Vernal that's a partnership between Uintah County and Vernal City. And I'll give a quick shout out to Sydney Millett, who, even though she's on vacation right now, she is really she does a great job over the hub, and she's really important and vital to putting this pitch competition on each year. She does a great work over there. And also the Governor's Office of Economic Opportunity. So they offer a grant each year, an economic development grant, and that's how we fund the pitch competition. So just the administrative costs, just putting the event on, and then the prize package, the prize money that we give to these winners, that all comes through this GoEO grant. So want to give them a shout out and a big thank you too, because without them, this would be a lot tougher without that funding. So from there, like I've mentioned, this is an effort just to support these brand new businesses and these concepts, and provide these contestants with some direction and some resource and some funding to really make sure that they're successful as a new business. So this year, our final competition was on March 27th, and although that was just one night, this event is about a month-long process. And these contestants, they participate in a number of meetings and one-on-ones with us as organizers, and they also have to make it through the preliminary round earlier in the month. Each of them have a series of requirements that they've got to meet in order to be eligible for this prize money, and these are simply to make sure that these are valid, legitimate businesses, and that these contestants are going to follow through on what they're pitching their ideas to be. And then each contestant is also judged on a pretty basic business model criteria, so they're all judged in the same way. We provide this to them as an outline beforehand so that they can make sure, like any business they're considering, what problem their business is solving, how they're going to go about solving that, who their market is, how their target market is going to receive their idea, and then how they're going to execute on these efforts to really serve these customers. And we also require them to provide a budget for that prize money, just explaining how they're going to spend that money, and that's what we hold them to if they are to win. So again, the funding comes from a state grant, which is very helpful, and that goes to cover the cost for the just putting the event together, some of the advertising, some of those costs there, but also the prize money. So all the prize money comes out of that grant. First place receives $12,000, second place $7,000, and third place receives $4,000. So I mean, these are substantial prizes. It's a substantial amount of money for these businesses. But in addition to that, we also have a prize package that includes donations from some local sponsors. So Evans Family Media, they donate advertising credits on their radio and their online platform. V6 Media donates advertising credits as well on Channel V6 and through the movie theater. Strata Networks provides internet service for our winners, and then UB Tech offers a full scholarship to a program of their choice for each winner. Market on Main donated free booth space to the winner, and then the Chamber of Commerce is donating a membership to the chamber. So lots of good services, again, just to help them get started and make sure that they've got the resources they need to be successful. So this year we did have 35 applications come in. That's pretty on par with past years. We're usually around 30, so this year was up a little bit from last year. We ended up having 27 applicants officially compete in the preliminary round, which again was up from last year, which is great that we've got this entrepreneurial spirit here in Uintah County. These are all mostly this year from last year. These are all new business ideas. And then from there, the preliminary round, we narrow that down to a top 10 for the final round, which was again March 27th. So big thanks to the conference center as well for helping us put a really fun night on and a really good event. They always do such a good job. And that night on the final, we had well over 200 members of the public join us there just to hear these final pitches and also to cast their votes for our People's Choice Award winner. So winners this year, third place was Amber Toller, who is starting a company called Dino Outfitters. This is an outdoor gear and guide service specializing in rock climbing and via ferrata climbing. So they'll provide equipment, rentals, guiding service to residents and visitors who are feeling adventurous and want to go experience some of what Uintah County has to offer. So for her, the prize money is just going to go towards equipment for their rentals and equipment for their guiding services. And then second place went to Dalton Reynolds and his new residential trash collection service, KD Sanitation. So KD Sanitation will collect your trash each week, but they stand out because their customers will not have to bring their trash to the road. As a service, they'll bring the trash can out, they'll dump it, they'll put it back for their customers each week, and they also offer a trash can cleaning service. So they're going to use that prize money to help go towards the purchase of their garbage truck. It's a big cost, so that'll help them get started. And then finally, our first place winner is Seth Taylor and his new business and his patented product called Whack-A-Sign. So he has a patent on this customizable sign you can kind of see there in the image that can be securely mounted to your typical T-post, and these are customizable so they can be used for a wide range of applications and industries. And his prize money will be used to acquire the equipment to make these signs here in Uintah County rather than overseas. And so big opportunity here for growth in a local manufacturer and some employment there. So really diverse group of businesses and that was kind of telling from all of our contestants this year. They're wide range of interests and areas. And so I think we got a good turnout this year. And just because this year's over doesn't mean we're completely done and we're going to stop till next year. We will follow up with our winners and make sure that they're progressing, that they're making the progress that they said they're going to make. They're utilizing the prize package, and we're going to be documenting that process each year. We put together a recap video of our previous year's winners to really just follow them along and make sure that they're doing what they said they're going to do, that they're utilizing the funding and going to grow these businesses here in Uintah County. So we'll continue at that. We'll get ready for year 6 next year. And any questions for me? Any thoughts, feedback?
Now, are any of these winners eligible to apply for the state grant?
Yeah, so the state, again, through GOEO, the state does, they started hosting a pitch competition for local pitch contest winners. And so if they do that again, these 3 will be eligible to compete in that. Last year we had our previous year's winner compete. He didn't place in their competition, but hopefully they'll host some kind of an event like that again and help with some of the funding. They're putting together one focused on technology. And so we had one of our competitors who had a very tech-centered business idea. He didn't place in our top 3, but I sent him the information because he could do well at that competition, and that's just focused on new tech and new software. So that's one of the benefits with something like this is we can help guide them to these other resources that exist. So.
Great.
Sorry, that was a long answer to your quick
Oh, that was
question.
an excellent answer. Thank you. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else?
Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Next, we'll have the UN Fire Suppression Special Service District Report from Jeremy Raymond.
All right. Good afternoon, Commissioners.
Good afternoon.
All right, let's see if I can get this thing to work here. All right, Jeremy Raymond, Director of Uintah Fire District, just here to give a 2024 update and presentation. It's now April, so I've finally got a little bit of free time to come over and give you an update. Almost halfway throughout the year, almost. So let's see. I've got it on my screen, but it's not on that screen. There we go. All right, I'll keep this brief. My son's playing tennis in 10 minutes, so. No, happy to be here. Fire District is doing good. We had a very successful year last year. Successful being not because we're running out on fires and emergencies, but because we do such a great job with our public education and retention and recruitment of our fire departments and firefighters. So in 2024, you can see our calls. Oops, sorry about that. Total fire calls, 620. Public relation hours, these are each individual person hours, 6,725 and a half. Total training hours, 1,567. So we have 100 on-call part-time firefighters. I have myself and Terry as the two full-time personnel, and then we also hired a full-time wildland engine captain a couple years ago, Patrick Perry. So we have 3 of us and then 100 part-time firefighters. And so you can see how busy they are. And this year, we're probably on track to either hit that or even go higher as well. So you can see here the last 10 years, how we've gradually increased. 2020 was just kind of one of those fluke years where we had a lot of calls. But as you can see, since 2015, we've gradually started getting more and more calls. Fire District just runs fire calls. Gold Cross Ambulance does all the medical. Jensen Fire Department does run a quick response for the monument and the residents in Jensen. So you can see here, so we have the 5 departments, Avalon, Jensen, LaPointe, Tridale, Naples, and Vernal. You can see we break it down into training hours, public relation, and fire calls, just to kind of see how busy they are at each of the stations. Roosevelt, the fire district has a contract with Roosevelt to provide for fire protection for Ballard City and also the west side of Uintah County, and they do a great job for us as well. Our call breakdown, so the majority of fire calls, this is pretty consistent with past years. You can see in the red, fire alarms, carbon monoxide alarms. So most of these come from your businesses, and typically it's a false alarm, whether they're working on the system, testing the system, or in maintenance. Sometimes you'll also have just a carbon monoxide or fire alarm residential, where most of the time, again, there's nothing really there. It's usually just the battery that needs replaced. But we treat it as every call is important, and our fire departments do a great job responding. You can see brush fires and then structure fires after that. This will show you the past 5 years, how each individual call volume has looked. You can see from 2023 to 24, we increased in brush fires and a little bit in structure fires. So the big increase was brush fires. And you can see that brush fires have gradually gone up over the last few years. So this spring, we've already had a very busy spring with brush fires, and the little bit of moisture that we've received definitely helped out. So this will show you fire inspections, how busy we are doing not only fires, but also just permits, annual fire inspections. So Uintah County, Naples City, Vernal City, and Ballard City. We've got existing inspections, new construction, wildland urban interface, and plan reviews. So We stay pretty busy taking care of that. I have a
Chairman?
part-time inspector. Go ahead.
Sorry, I did have a question on that. Do you get information from the county and the cities that shows you here's a new business when their new ones come on that you know you have to go inspect, or how
Yep,
is
so
how
all
does
the,
that
all the
work?
new business licenses, I'll get a call from the county or the cities. They'll usually just send me an email through the iWorks program. And so I typically will go out and do all the new businesses inspections, and then I have a firefighter that helps do the annual existing fire inspections. We laid off our full-time inspector in 2020. You can kind of see the reason that we dropped there in 2020 is we laid that individual off due to our money. And so we had firefighters, volunteers, trained them, and then we pay them to go out part-time and do the inspections. So you can see there we haven't done as many as we used to, but we're still out doing inspections. So yes, we do all new business licenses and then all new construction as well. So if there's any new commercial, industrial, the residential, the cities and counties typically just take that. Unless they're building out in the wildland urban interface, then I will go out and do an inspection on the home or garage or whatever they're building. Avalon Fire Department, I won't spend a lot of time here. You can see that 2020, they had a big year with fire calls, but after that, they've gradually gone up in calls. You can see their #1 fire caller out in their area, Ouray, Randelette, Avalon area, brush fires. Jensen Fire Department, you can see that they've also gone up. They had 94 calls this year, which was pretty high. And then their main fire call down there are medical, EMS. And so they have 5 certified EMT basics, and they run a quick response, meaning that they will go to the medical call, and then Gold Cross will also arrive, and then they'll transfer care, and Gold Cross will transport.
Do we receive anything for that?
Sorry,
Or is
say that
just-
again?
Is that volunteer, or do they get paid
They
for
get paid.
responding to
Yep, so we
those?
pay up. So they go through a 200-hour EMT basic course, which we pay for 4 hours of training a month, which there's a lot of time and effort they put into that. And then once they're certified, we give all our firefighters an hourly rate when they go out on call. If they're certified, we do give them a little bit more. So, but they put in, as you can see, many training and public relation. We don't pay them anything for public relation hours, and they do a tremendous job with that. Sorry, LaPointe Tridel. So yeah, you can see that they've also gone up a little bit. LaPointe Tridel, their #1 call volume or brush fires. You can see in 2020 they had a big increase in brush fires, and then they've gone down and gradually going back up again. So Naples Fire Department, you can see again being in the city, they've got a lot of fire alarms, carbon monoxide alarms. That they respond to, also with Vernal City. This is the busiest department with fire calls, 324. They actually went down a little bit from the previous year. But 324 calls a year, and then fire alarm, carbon monoxide. So they've also increased on their brush and structure. So Roosevelt Fire, again, responds to Ballard. You can see in 2022, 13, and then 14, and then 19 last year. And then we just started tracking Uintah counties as well. And last year they had 26 calls in the county. For Ballard City, they had brush fires was their #1. And in the county, we had 7 structure and 7 brush fires. Here's some of our accomplishments for last year. We added a very beautiful building in Tridel with a community center and a fire station. We put in some grass down at the Avalon Fire Station. We had a hazmat training, and then you can see our wildland crew. We started this 3 years ago. That has been a very successful program. We hired a full-time wildland engine captain and then 2 wildland seasonals, firefighters. And so they have gone out already twice this year to Kansas and to, I want to say South Carolina, but so yeah, they've already been out on 2 assignments, so this is going to be a busy year for them. And then we do, the first year it broke even. The last 2 years it's made about $100,000, $150,000 profit back into the district. So kind of helping out our revenue that way. This shows our prior years' capital projects, if you can see, we've been very busy and have purchased a lot of emergency equipment and trucks and stations, and very grateful for mineral lease money and what it's done for our first responders and fire department. 1 to 5 capital list, our Naples ladder truck, that's on order. Jensen rescue truck, some brush trucks, and then another Avalon pumper truck. Our 5 to 10 year, we're looking at somewhere in Ballard to put a fire station and then a life safety command trailer. Some of our goals for this year, which we were very appreciative to the county for some PILT money. We're going to get some washers and dryers and shower facilities. The statistics now show that the #1 killer of firefighters is not heart attacks, but cancer. And so thanks to the county, we're going to make sure that we've got washers, dryers, and showers at each of our facilities. And other than that, thanks everyone for a great year. And yeah, any questions? The python you can see in there actually was part of the culprit or reason that we had a fire in that house. It was conveniently on a power strip, which was really hot, and the snake was wandering around the apartment and found a nice warm spot. Actually overheated and burned him and caught fire, but the sprinkler system in the apartment put it out. But he was a burned snake. I think we called animal control, but when some of the firefighters found that, they quickly left the apartment building. So. Anyways, I just got to give a shout out to the fire board. Commissioner Lefever's on the board, and I know we've had you two also at some of our meetings, and then also our fire board. We've got Robert Hall's the chair, and Al Kettle is Ballard. We got Willis, and then who am I missing? Chris is our at-large member.
Yes.
And I think that's all of them. We've got 5 board members on there. And then especially our firefighters, we appreciate all that they do and can't do it without our help there. So with that, I'll open it to any questions.
Are your 100 firefighters all red carded?
I'm going to say 90% of them.
Okay.
Some of them cannot pass the PAC test physically. And so they are not allowed in the hot zone, but they are allowed to drive trucks if needed.
Support.
But yeah, that's a very good thing that we've been able to get them red carded, and yeah, so it's that PAC test. It's a pretty rigorous PAC test.
I concur.
3 miles, 45-pound pack, and you have 45 minutes. And so some of them just can't quite get there. But we have our own in-house physical agility test, and as long as they can pass the in-house test, which is kind of a modified version of the PAC test, then they are allowed on the department still. So
Good. And now for the public, they don't have a clue what a red card is.
yeah, so our red card is what allows us to go fight wildland fires or brush fires. Those cards are issued by the state of Utah, and we've got our fire warden, Corey Auger, that helps with that program with the state. And what's been really nice about that whole program is we're able to go out on wildland or federal fires and help, but then also get paid by the federal government, the state of Utah. So, yeah.
Yep, it's great.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Good report. Nate? Weed Department rules and regulations for this year.
Good afternoon. Basically what we're doing here is just doing, this is a periodic update for our rules and regulations for the weed department. The main things that are being, there's nothing that was really changed. It was just the Utah Noxious Weed Act was updated. So we're making sure that we're aligned with them on that, and then adding one item from the weed board that they wanted. Then after that was basically generalizing things. There was a lot of specifics that didn't need to be in there that we just generalized so that we wouldn't have to have updates every year or two. Clarifications and getting rid of redundant stuff. So since I had to make the changes for the state, I figured I might as well fix all the other little issues that have been driving me crazy over the last little while. But I ran this past the weed board. John Snow, Tony George, and Dave Gurr. They were approving of all the changes that needed to be done there, and Lauren checked it out to make sure we were legal, and he said it was good. So, any questions from you or anyone else?
No, just glad to see you keeping up on things and keeping current. I know that's always a ongoing thing, so
Yes.
appreciate you doing that.
Okay, great, thank you.
Doing great, thank you.
I'll get you a copy to sign.
I'll sign that. Do we need to have a vote on that, Lauren? We don't need to vote on that, do we?
The weed board did it, so.
Right, okay. I
Okay.
thought so. I don't want to make sure. Okay, Deanna, you're going to have the,
If he's gonna sign it, shouldn't they make a motion to approve it?
Has it already been signed, or who's going to sign it? Nate?
Commissioner's gotta sign it. I think
Oh.
the commissioners probably should be.
If they did sign, if there's a signature block for them, then yeah, make a motion to approve it, to approve for signature.
You guys to sign, so I think, council, you tell me, but I think the commission should.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
We-
I'd agree if there's a signature block.
Okay. I would make a motion then that we approve the weed department rules and regulations, which authorizes signature on that.
and I'll call for a vote.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. All right. We'll have a introduction on what we're doing here next. When she gets done presenting, so we have a clue what we're talking about, we'll open for public hearing on ordinance 0408, 2025-01, vacating a portion of certain Class D roads. And she'll explain the areas and what's going on.
Okay, so you might recognize this from January. We had a public hearing for a road by the Deep Creek Ranches to vacate that road. The road came down here from Deep Creek Road, and then around and back up. It just kind of ended here. So we have already had the public hearing on the lower portion and on this section right here on Johnson's property, but there was a section that we missed that we didn't realize was on this property. This property is owned by Ford Raymond Ranch. What is it? Ford Raymond Ranches LLC. The property is 12154 East Deep Creek. Deep Creek Road, I believe is what it should be. Serial number 030200101. So we just need to have the public hearing today. We don't have the ordinance quite ready to sign yet, so we'll just do the public hearing today and bring that ordinance back when we have it ready. The rest of the road was, like I said, we had a hearing on it in January, and it was voted to vacate that portion and then reroute this portion.
Yes, are we
So that
still
it
working
connects.
on that part?
Yes, and I've gotten with the property owners. They actually sold the property, so we were worried, but it was actually still within the family. It's just a family business now that owns it. So the same person lives there. We just need to have our county surveyor come up with a description, and then we'll get an easement drawn up and have them sign that. So then, yeah, today it's just the public hearing on this little section.
Anything else for you? Deanna, anything else?
No.
Okay, we'll open it for public comment pertaining to the vacation of the road as described by Deanna. Do we have anybody who'd like to make comment? Going once? Going twice? None seen. We'll now close public comment. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Matt, ordinance 0402 202501.
Yeah, thank you. Matt Kazir with Community Development. At the last commission work session, we talked about this kennel ordinance. There was some discussion on it and a couple of changes that were recommended by legal counsel, I believe. First one was here in H. Instead of may, change that to shall. And the second one was in K. Instead of breeding is not allowed in private kennels, it's planned breeding is not allowed. Lauren didn't want to define breeding, so he came up with a better term.
And that's more to keep somebody from having a puppy mill going.
Right, yeah.
So, or making a business out of it.
So those are the two changes. I mean, you remember there was a lot of discussion on kennels in general at that meeting as well. I did send this out to the 3 commissioners through email and to Lauren as well. I didn't get anything back from anybody, so not to say that something couldn't be changed here today, but that's kind of been the process on this one. So just refer anybody back to the last work session last week to hear what the discussion was.
Right. Okay. Any discussion?
No, I think we asked I asked the questions I had at the work session.
Okay. Commissioner Lefevre did express to me he had some concerns with it, but it was more with the number of animals. But we did discuss that.
Yeah, that was discussed.
So, I'll call for a motion.
I would make a motion that we approve ordinance number 04-02-202501 as has been presented by Matt Kazir.
Okay. Call for a vote.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Matt.
All right, thank you.
Okay, does anyone like to make a public comment?
Yes.
All righty. What I'm going to need for you to do, let me read this real quick, and then we'll have you tell us your name, and then go. Give me just a second. So public comment is a time for public comment, not public debate. The county will listen to comments made and take them into considerations. The county will not be responding to comments or answering questions. Comments made might not be something the county has the power to act on. This is a recorded public meeting. If someone would like to make a comment, they will need to wait until the microphone is available and state the name for the record. Please be respectful, no interrupting. Please wait your turn. We'll have a total of 15 minutes be allowed for public comment. Each speaker will have 3 minutes to make their comment. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you waiting for me.
My name is Bradley Trady. I am the treasurer of the Uintah County Republican Party, and I just wanted to come and give a thanks for those in the county that have attended our recent Lincoln Day dinner that we had last week. There was it was not only was it Republican, but we also had many businesses in the community donate different items for us to raise our money, and it just shows that we have a good position in the community, and we appreciate that. Also like to say that coming up on the 24th is the Republican organizing convention. So the seats that will be up for grabs will be all of them. That's the chair, the vice chair, the treasurer, the secretary. There are additional at-large committee seats, and also a member for the SCC as well. So thank you very much.
Okay, I want to add to that too, our appreciation as veterans for the invitation to come down and the salute that you gave us. It was very, very nice and heartwarming.
It was a great time to just meet and chat with so many veterans that had so many stories of things that I didn't even know existed, and I learned a lot. And I really think we really need to our veterans are people that we need to remember, not just when we have our occasional opportunities and stuff, but we need to remember them every day. Whenever I see the flag, the first thing I know I do is I remember my grandfather, because he was a veteran, and I just appreciate all the veterans what they've done for me personally and for the country, so we can know that we have our freedom. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Okay. Anyone else? All right. Close public comment. we have a motion?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
We are adjourned. Thank you.
We've got